First and foremost, this is if they're not showing up in your broker portal. This is if they say, hey, David, I haven't got my insurance cards yet. It's been a couple weeks. What's the deal? Or I haven't got a bill yet. The marketplace sends these enrollment files to the insurance carriers. Not saying it's never going to happen, but it's not as common. Sometimes those files do not transfer over correctly. If this happens to you, please know your first contact will be the marketplace. You can call the insurance company, they're just going to redirect you right back to the marketplace. So contact the marketplace. Obviously, make sure that you are authorized on their account. If you are not authorized, you will have to have the client on the phone with you. But call the marketplace and advise the marketplace to resend or send the 834 file over to the insurance carrier. This is required for that enrollment to be recognized, received, and ultimately for your client to have insurance coverage. So if they're not pulling up in your broker portal, that doesn't necessarily mean they do not have a file yet. But if they're not pulling up for an extended amount of time, you call the insurance company, they have no record. This is what you'll need to do. Now, you get the eligibility results. What should you do next? This is more talking about if there are any DMIs, data matching issues. So if you are required to send more information, and we're going to do a full-on webinar about this in the coming weeks. This is more just a brief overview, but a couple of things to note. If their citizenship doesn't match up, if their income doesn't match up, regardless of what it is, you need to make sure that you get that information cleaned up as soon as possible. If that time's out, it's generally 60 to 90 days, depending. If that age is out, they will, a couple of things. First, they'll more than likely lose their premium tax credit. So if they had a fairly decent premium tax credit, their premium will jump up to full price. And if they obviously do not pay that, they will lose coverage. So as an agent, it is your responsibility to ensure that your clients' data matching issues are resolved. They give you 90 days. I say as an agent, give yourself, if you can, right then and there. I know sometimes that's not as realistic depending on what is required. But if you can take an extra 5, 10 minutes and have that client either send you the information or you can fill out a document with them on the phone, that will be much smoother than trying to chase someone down on day 89 with the risk of their coverage being taken away. So be sure you resolve data matching issues ASAP. However, when you do get those eligibility results, please make sure you still continue to select the plan and then upload those documents as soon as possible, and do not forget the binder payment. Tips on calling into the marketplace. Healthcare.gov should be a contact saved into your phone. There is a client line, there is an agent line. If you get the notice at the end of the application saying, please call into this number, follow the one on Health Sherpa or healthcare.gov. That is the agent line. They are open 24/7, so they're generally pretty quick. However, outside of open enrollment, it should be very smooth, very quick phone call. A client can't authorize anyone on their behalf. Keep that in mind. They can authorize anyone, whether they are the agent of record or not. So provide the client with your name, business address, and tell them to authorize you for 365 days. This way, if they have any updates to be made, you can do it for them and they will not have to call to the marketplace. You can do it on their behalf. It's not on this presentation. One thing I will strongly encourage, excuse me, strongly encourage, have the client revoke any other authorizations on their account other than yourself. Biggest reason for this is if they authorize you, but they don't revoke the prior individual, that agent of record can call in, they can work on the behalf of the client just like you could. So it's very critical, important for you, revoke that information, not you, but the client. So you are the only person. Biggest thing, make sure you reflect as the agent of record, just so you know, hey, one, I can help this client. Two, you're going to get compensated for it. There's no point in helping someone, you know, X, Y, and Z, all their different needs, and not get compensated. That's the whole point of the business, right? If you need any help on this step, please do not hesitate. You can always message office@Benavest, email us. You can send us, I don't believe it's Google Hangouts anymore. There is a chat that you can send it though. So please don't hesitate. All right. We do have something in the Q&A box. I'm going to jump into those as we get more toward the end of the presentation. But please don't hesitate. Shoot those in there. I would like to be able to jump in and visit those as we go. Okay. Marketplace contact. Again, like I said, you will have all this information. Um, you're going to get this slide deck. So you're going to be able to save all this, click on all these links. Okay, binder payments. If you see the word binder payment, for those of you newer to the insurance space, this is just the first premium payment. This is essentially what locks in their contract between them and the insurance company to provide coverage. So binder payments are due if it is a December 15th enrollment. That binder payment was due by December 31st to make coverage go effective January 1st. If it was an enrollment that was submitted between December 16th and January 15th, that actually should say January 31st. That is the binder payment. This payment ensures that the coverage will go and take effect. Some companies, now I do not promote this, I do not share this with my clients. I make it seem like it's a pretty firm, strict